Welcome back, friends. We'd like to welcome Dr. Sorab, a pulmonologist at Mercy, and Lisa Mayer with the American Heart Association. Good morning to both of you ladies. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So we know, Missouri, hot, hot heat. You never know. It's unpredictable. But yesterday, as Tom Schmidt said, 99 degrees, hottest day on record so far this year. So we're going to talk about heat stroke and stroke today. So, Dr. Sorab, let's start with you. What exactly is heat stroke versus a stroke?
Sure. So heat stroke, as the name suggests, it has to be super hot like it has been. So the temperatures are super high, you are outdoor a lot, and there comes a point in time, typically our body can do what's called homeostasis, and it kind of controls the body temperature that we have. And we do that by sweating. So when you sweat, your body temperature drops. And so you're able to cool your body. But there comes a point in time when that fails. And if that fails, then your core body temperature starts rising. And if that rises up to 40 degrees or 104 degrees Fahrenheit, then you start getting symptoms of a heat stroke.
Okay.
So that's the difference. Now, stroke, on the other hand, is because there's either a bleed in the brain or there's a blockage in the brain, and there's not blood going to that part of the brain. So stroke's very different when it comes to what causes it. But the symptoms can sometimes be the same.
I was going to ask about the symptoms.
Yeah.
So what would those symptoms be that differentiate between the two, and how do you know which one you might be having?
Sure. So one is the circumstances, right? So if it's super hot that day, you've been outdoor all day, and you feel, the person feels really warm, and then again, you're thinking more heat stroke. Symptoms are going to be dizziness, confusion. Some people can even lose consciousness. Headache, severe headache. People are going to complain that they have this huge headache, and they're going to come inside and they're going to be like, just don't feel good. They might be confused. Sometimes they can be throwing up. Now, stroke, on the other hand, can have some of these symptoms where it can make it confusing. So it can be sudden onset of confusion. It can also have headache. So they can have some symptoms that are the same. What's a little different is in a stroke, typically it's one-sided weakness. Facial droop, we call it the FAST. So if somebody has a facial droop, somebody has arm weakness, A for arm weakness, S for slurred speech, and then T, time to call 911. And it's time sensitive. So typically one-sided droop, facial droop or weakness would make you think more stroke. But whenever in doubt, whether it's a heat stroke or it's a stroke, it's better to seek medical help. If it is a heat stroke and you've been working outside and it was super hot, I would recommend helping the person first, staying with the person the entire time, bring them indoors, air conditioning if possible, spray them with water, make sure, remove any excess clothing if possible, give them water to drink, cool shower, immerse, I know a lot of people are doing the cold immersion.
Yes.
But yeah, that would,
I was going to ask about that,
Yeah, so that's a good thing to do, to rapidly, you want to cool that body temperature down as quickly as you can.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, so Lisa, what exactly is the American Heart Association doing to kind of help educate, our community about heat stroke, and
we have so many collateral material on heart.org, so that is wonderful to go to, because you can go right to the search, put in heat stroke versus regular heart stroke. So all that information is there, and it's actually exactly what Dr. Sorab said, is all those conditions. Think of the symptoms that you're having or possibly would have versus a heat stroke versus a heart stroke. Think about the other items, and how to take care of it. If it's a heat stroke, just like I said, start taking some of those excess clothes off. Your temperature spots on your wrists. You remember when you used to put the milk from babies to test it? That's a temperature. So my husband just had heat stroke this weekend.
Oh my
And that was one of the first things I did was cool towels on his neck, his head. I said, take your socks and shoes off. Put some cool water wrapped around his wrist, just brought down his body temperature. His face got beet red. So I'm sitting there taking his pulse, making sure it's not a stroke. But everything was fine, but just keep on knowing those symptoms. So at heart.org, you can go there and you can just put in the search regards heat stroke versus heart stroke. So
but are the heat stroke, is this pretty common? Are you seeing a lot of cases of this? Because you hear the word heat stroke, but you don't know, is it really happening every single day? Does it affect a certain demographic of people?
It does, because especially our temperatures, our heat indexes for the past few weeks have been over 100. And being outside in that excessive heat, and your body will dehydrate fast. And you're not realizing that it is till it's almost too late. So definitely take care of yourself in regards to that.
Dr. Sorab, I wanted to ask, so when someone is suffering from heat stroke and you're cooling them down, do you want to go to the extreme of like putting them in an ice bath, or just like kind of cool room temperature water? Because if it's too much of a drastic
shock.
difference, a shock.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, they typically recommend ice packs, like Lisa said, in the groin, armpits. Rapidly, they do recommend rapid cooling of the body temperature.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you have an ice bath, go for it, but I mean, typically we don't. So
Yeah.
just, like I said, spraying water, cool water, ice packs in the groin, armpits helps. Fanning them, again, just taking them into the air conditioning and, you know, seeing if the symptoms go away.
I saw an episode of Little House on the Prairie where they put them in an ice bath to cool them down because they were working in the fields and they got the heat stroke. So I didn't know if that was a real thing or not, but that actually does help.
It is, yeah, it would help, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
Okay, so what is the best way for our viewers to, just again, check out heat stroke versus heart stroke and ways to avoid heat stroke?
Yeah. So I'll actually say for the stroke, an important thing is risk factors, because a heat stroke anyone can get, but the stroke, we already know those risk factors of who's more likely to get a stroke. So people at home who have diabetes, those that have high blood pressure, those that smoke, and that's a big one. Smoking is a preventable cause of stroke. So don't smoke. I always say that, I'm a lung doctor. Never smoke because it causes lung cancer, it causes COPD, it causes heart attacks. Yeah.
We gotta go. I'm so sorry. Thanks for all the great
sorry.
information. Tune over to Color 10 right now for Hour 3.